Good. Okay. Gabriel usually tells me we're streaming. Oh, he said we had 6 people waiting already.
How many? 6?
Yeah.
Oh.
Before we even started.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay, so yeah, we're live. We're on. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Let me just close this window here. Now that we know for sure we're streaming, I can see you, Marcos. Okay, perfect. So let's get going, as I say. Let's get the party started. Hello, Planet Earth, and welcome to Lilia's Weekly Wednesdays, and thank you so much for joining us this summer. Who is Lilia, anyways? My pronouns are she and hers, and I believe that gender is a spectrum. As the creator of a 3,000-strong Facebook peer group for Facialteam, I've been dedicated to the trans community for 12 years now. I've always felt a little bit like a patient advocate, and I'm keenly aware that researching gender identity services is often overwhelming. So these live streams are a way to communicate important information to you, our followers, and to provide a beacon where your questions may be answered in a transparent and direct fashion. So today, I am very honored to welcome an expert in hospitality, Marcos Torres, who's originally from Brazil but now lives in Spain. He is the director of Hotel La Villa Marbella in the historic quarter of our fine city, and it is the recommended accommodations for Facialteam patients. Thank you so much, Marcos, for being with me today.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm honored to join your stream today. It's a great honor.
Thank you. So we're gonna talk about all different things about La Villa Marbella. But first, I want to tell everybody who's here listening, please let us know where you're from, and also write down in the comments what your questions are about recuperating after surgery in Marbella at Hotel La Villa. So Marcos, first, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? You've got quite an interesting history in hospitality.
Well, indeed, it's have been a long journey in my life. I've been working in the tourism industry for 35 years already. I started in Brazil, and I was fortunate to work 20 years for Club Med, which I believe everybody knows about Club Med, the French resort holidays, which I worked for 20 years. So I lived in 17 different countries. And I would say I spent a lot of time in Asia. So I was stationed in Singapore. So true, got a lot of experience. One of my experiences were here in Marbella when I was very young. And already at that time, I fall in love for Marbella. That's where I met my wife, Rose. And part of my later goal in my life, I always said I want to come back one day to Marbella and settle down my own business. And in 2003, I decided to come here. My son was 2 years old. He was Felipe, born in Singapore. And I came here and decided to follow my dream, because everybody has dreams. And I'm sure your followers have a lot of dreams in life. And I had mine, and mine was to come here, settle down in Marbella, because I love the city. It's such a beautiful place. And I want to have my own little hotel. I want to have my own boutique hotel. And everything started then. And then it has been a beautiful journey. And I would say it's the second part of my life. My first part was with the Club Med, which was a long time, which I really learned a lot. And for me, it was a great experience and helped us to understand the notion of service. It was a great school for me. And then I transported everything to La Villa Marbella, let's say, project and concept. And it works very fine, and we are very happy. And now we're embarking in a new journey along Facialteam, which for us, it has been amazing. And I think you're going to go more into details later. But for us, was a beautiful, beautiful discovery. And we are passing a phase where we were kind of went to a routine because we opened in 2003, so it's 16 years on the road. So it was kind of a cruise control, and now since last year, starting with the Facialteam for us was a new challenge, and we feel very fortunate to be partnershiping with Facialteam because we discovered something that is really filling our hearts because the patients are truly special people for us.
Well, it's also very special for us, and we're very grateful to work with such an amazing professional as yourself. You have an incredible story, Marcos, and I have no doubt that your wealth of experience is bringing quality and really, really good care for our patients here in Marbella. So as we said before, today's topic includes the most frequently asked questions about the post-op stay in La Villa Marbella, which is Facialteam's designated accommodations for our patients. So for those here now, or if you're watching the replay, please comment below and let us know, and we'll answer your questions along the way or in response. So, Marcos, your philosophy in hospitality perhaps may be summarized in one quote that you say to your employees, which you told me before. Put yourself in the shoes of the other. Absolutely. And I thought that was quite powerful. How does that help you and the other employees of La Villa take extra special care of the Facialteam patients?
Well, our, let's say, history with La Villa Marbella is mainly already very service oriented. If you look TripAdvisor, we are hotel #1 in Marbella for the last 10 years. So we have been always focusing on service. So when we begin the talking, because I last year was in 2018, I was on holiday in Miami, and I met Dr. Simon at that time in Miami as well. So we're talking about Facialteam, talking about La Villa Marbella, because we know about each other, and we said, look, let's partnership. So the first thing that I did, I brought my staff and I said, look, we're gonna have, let's say, a new partnership, which is a very special one, because really for me would be something very special. So I said to my staff, beside the fact that you are already used to provide service at a high level, I told them, more than ever now, we have to be in a position to be on the, as you said, on the shoes of the other person, because the patients, it's even a more sensitive stay, because it's after surgery care, it's a little bit more delicate. So I said to my staff, I talked to all of them. They are very excited when I talk about the project. And I said, look, this is something that you're going to bring something new to us. I mean, you're going to go out of our boundaries. You're going to go out of our, as I said, our routine. You're going to it's challenging, because for us, it was something new, because it'd be involving as well aftercare surgery. You're going to be involving nurse care, which was something new for us. But I was pretty amazed with when you start the first talks with the Facialteam. We got a visit of Facialteam. Obviously, there was a visit to see our premises, to see if our type of concept would be adaptable for the Facialteam needs. And I think we group everything, all the ingredients necessary to have a perfect stay. First of all, as I said, in the tourism industry, the three most important things to build up a hotel is location, location, location. And truly, the Old Town, it's a special place. And especially for the patients, because they have the opportunity to see the local people, they have the opportunity to see a historical center, a special place, a lot of shops around. They can, groceries very nearby. The beach is only 8 minutes walk. There's beautiful walks early in the morning. We can hear the birds. It's a small village inside the city. So I think when I start talking to my staff, they all get excited and say, look, we have to provide something special. We have to go beyond what we have been doing so far, because you're going to go in a certain levels which you never experienced before. And I can tell you, Lilia, for us, it has been only pleasure, only success. We made a lot of patients friends. I still have contact with the many patients after they left. Patients came back on holiday with us. So it's only, let's say, a positive experience so far. We started last year and we love it.
Excellent. So since becoming the official accommodations for Facialteam and over these years, how has this influenced? You talked a little bit about how it's influenced your staff and everything, and they really loved the concept of collaborating with us. And what about the neighborhood? You mentioned to me before something interesting about some of the neighbors, because it's a very residential area where the La Villa is located. Can you tell me a little bit about what some of your neighbors say?
Absolutely. It's a truly little village. I mean, true, the old town, 98% of the old town is still residential. And the majority of the people live in the old town are, I would say, more elderly people. So it's a very little village feeling, like a little old village in Spain. And when you start receiving the first patients of a Facialteam, we start having a response from the neighbor, which you never had before with the, let's say, with the tourists that we had stay in the hotel. So they start coming to see us. Well, we noticed that you have a new guest stay in the hotel, and the patients as well interact as well with the neighbors, because the neighbors are very friendly. There's absolutely no prejudice for the trans community, which is for us is very important, because for us everything was a discovery, it was a beginning. Let's see how it works, let's see how we're going to be adapting, let's see how the neighbor will respond. And we did have, true, in the beginning, even some patients messaging us to say, okay, how it would be the response of the neighbors, how's the people they see and the response has been amazing. When I see even patients talk in the streets, I mean, with the small old people, and I truly believe that you feel very comfortable. It's really something that makes the patients feel very comfortable, very intimate as well, because we have the small different houses. So it makes really little feeling of village, and the neighbor are really, they are already part of what we deliver as well to the patient, because the patients really feel comfortable staying in the old town. And I pay tribute as well for the neighbors of the old town, because lovely people as well. Sorry, Lily, I lost the sound.
Now, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Sorry.
No
So I was saying that that's amazing that our patients, also feel welcome, not only in the hotel, but also in the community. And like you said, I think that's really interesting. The neighbors, it's all part of a family in a way. And so that's important. So I thought this is a good moment to share some of the testimonials that people say about La Villa, which I found on your website, and some which have been sent to us as well. So I'm just going to share here our PowerPoint. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to share my screen.
All right.
Let me know when you can see it. Okay, I'm going to open the PowerPoint, and I'm going to there. So you can see the whole screen now?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it's on the last slide, so I wrote that. So here we have La Villa. No, it's in the historic old town of Marbella. And it's received the Certificate of Excellence since 2003. Is that right, Marcos?
Yeah, 2019 and 2020 as well.
Yeah, and this year as well, the last year.
18 as well. Yeah.
And one of the comments that was said by one of your guests is, La Villa Marbella is a superb hotel in a wonderful location. We have stayed numerous times, probably over 20 to date, and we have our next stay booked. Marcos and his staff are totally dedicated to good service, and nothing is too much trouble ever. Each time we stay, it's like coming home. Oh, that's so sweet, no?
That's the idea. Absolutely.
So here we have what a Facialteam patient has said. The welcome was very warm and staff were from the outset very respectful and kind. The accommodation was excellent with a very comfortable bed, that's important, and plenty of space with the mezzanine level. The staff were exemplary over the weekend and helpful as any 5-star staff I have come across. Breakfast was very enjoyable event, cooked perfectly, and the location was very central for food in small shops. I enjoyed walking down a little further to the seafront, and the provision of the communal sitting room and kitchen was very helpful for a longer term stay. And here's another one from another client of Facialteam. I stayed in La Villa Marbella, and the owners are super nice and seem to genuinely care about my well-being, and told me in a very warm and motherly tone I should wear a hat after surgery when they noticed me outside without a hat. The daily nurse visits are nice, and after you've recovered a bit, you can go out with other patients for shopping and stuff. I had some of the best days of my life hanging out with peeps in La Villa Marbella. I totally believe that, Marcos. I can hear you.
It's funny because there's a mention about the shops. When we reopen now on the 19th of March, which was, 19th of June, which was at the patient of Facialteam, which re-inaugurated a hotel after the pandemic. All the shops in the hotel, they came to see me and say, when the patients, they are coming back. We love them because it's the small grocery stores, the small little shops, they start asking us when the patients, they're going to be back because they're so lovely. We want to see them. And it was very nice to hear even on the reopening scene, the local shops asking us, the little grocery stores saying, where are the patients, when they're going to be coming back. So it was very rewarding to hear that.
Good. And so some of the hotel facilities, Marcos, can you mention a little bit about the hotel facilities we have here?
Yeah, we have a very, very efficient Wi-Fi system, which actually I would say is a state-of-art system. Not only the Wi-Fi system as well, all the rooms, they are connected by phone, so you can, one room can call the other, which happens quite often. Some patients that they meet each other during their stay, they can call one room, even if they are in different houses, they can communicate from one room to the other, which is quite nice to be able to communicate. We're going to talk later about the communication with the Facialteam 24-hour service as well. I mean, rooms are no smoking because we decided to have a smoke-free hotel, but there are areas where those patients who want to smoke, they can go. We have a lot of terraces in different buildings. The advantage, although we have different houses, our hotel is equipped with electronic cards, so you can go from one building to the other. You're not only related to one building, you have the opportunity to go and discover all different buildings. You have beautiful patios, you have beautiful terraces, and in those areas, smoking is allowed. That's where you say in the next icon, which says lounges and rooftop areas. Prime location, because we are in a prime location. As I told you, the beach is very nearby. There's a lot of places where you can go and buy groceries. Very important, we have 24 hours reception. So there's always someone in the reception 24 hours a day. We are very fortunate to have all staff members, and even the cleaners, they have a very good level of English. It's very surprising. Even the cleaners, the housekeepers, they really can communicate quite efficiently with the guests. Obviously, those who work in the reception, as you said, 8 languages, so we cover a big spectrum of languages. We do all kinds of business assistance because sometimes the patients, they need printing boarding passes, sending messages, receiving PDFs. We can all give all those kind of services. And something very important, only for Facialteam patients, we do provide a complimentary laundry service. We have always, when you come for a stay of 12 days, 11 days, 15 days, there's always that worry about washing. We do provide this service complimentary only for Facialteam members. The same thing related to breakfast. Only Facialteam patients receive breakfast delivery in the room. So we did create lots of different kinds of services which were really adapted for facial team patients, because we thought that there was a special need, a special care related to them. So we managed pretty well to combine the service of the hotel for the tourists, because you still have people on holiday, combined with the patients. And I would say the balance is pretty nice, which means the interaction between the two communities of the patients and the tourists are very, very good as well. There's a good equilibrium as well.
Thank you, Marco. So I couldn't have said it better. And I think it's fantastic that you have made so many special accommodations for our patients so that they feel as comfortable and are taken care of as well as possible. So in addition to the amenities, we also have these services, which I think are very important as well. If you want to say a couple words about each point.
Okay, well, we have different kind of rooms. So mainly for facial team patients, we propose single rooms. The comfort rooms are mainly for when the guests come with a family member, or it comes with a partner or a friend. We do have as well bigger units, like apartment units. Some guests, they want to have a kitchen, so we can provide as well this kind of, let's say, units a little bit bigger. All the rooms are equipped the same. So we have telephone, we have mini bar, we have Wi-Fi, air conditioning, heating, safe in the room, bathrobes. It's equipped like a small luxury little hotel. It's really with all the equipment that we can find in any 5-star hotel in the world in a smaller scale. As you can see, every week we had one today, every Monday and every Wednesday, we dedicated an area of the hotel for the meeting with Marina, the psychologist. So she comes to do sessions Mondays and Wednesdays. She was today. We dedicate a special area. The advantage we have is the fact that we have different houses, so we can allocate an area only for facial team patients, where they can feel comfortable. They're going to feel, let's say, in intimacy of the group. And this is done every Monday and every Wednesdays. We have something which is a lot of questions that we receive for patients. What are we going to eat? What do we have to eat? Are you going to be starving in the room? And I say, no, we won't be starving in the room. We do serve the breakfast in the room on it's because of the situation of the pandemic today. We have now a special package breakfast delivered in the room every day, which is prepared with 100% safety. We do really pay a lot of attention to make sure the safety is a priority for us to prepare the breakfast in the morning. They can call, patients can call us from 8 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock. And we can deliver the breakfast as late as they want. For lunch and dinner, first of all, we have a partnership with two very nice restaurants in Marbella, where the patients, they can order the food. They call reception. There is a menu in the room. The menu have numbers. They just tell us what they would like to eat. We order the food, and we do deliver the food in the room. Nobody ever come to the room. And we try to do today like a contactless delivery. The other option, which has become very popular now, it's the apps like Deliveroo, like Just Eat. So it's becoming, I would say, even as much as popular as the restaurants we work with. The only difference, the restaurants work with us. We don't have this worry of paying the restaurant, because we take care of the bill. And at the end of the stay, we put the charges in the room. The Deliveroo, you can order whatever you like, is always delivered in the reception. We don't want any deliverer to go to the buildings to avoid contact with the patients. They deliver to the reception, and we do take the food, and then we take to the room. As I said, 24 hours a day reception, but 24 hours a day as well, a direct contact from the room to facial team. There is always a coordinator which is on standby. So we have a program that's thanks to technology from the room. You just have to pick up the phone. You have to dial a number, which is programmed in the phone, and you call directly facial team, and you can have someone. This is especially, I would say, after surgery. If there's any concerns after surgery, you need to have a question during the night. There's always someone for facial team available. And obviously us in the reception, we are there as well, 24 hours a day. After surgery, the lovely nurses of facial team, which are really lovely people, they come to see the patient every day. So they come in the mornings. The visit starts from 9 o'clock in the morning. We never send a nurse to the room before calling the room. You always call the room first to make sure the person is awake, to make sure the person is ready to receive and to see the nurse. So we give a call beforehand. So we try to organize. We know those who had already breakfast, those who we are still didn't have breakfast. So we try to organize, and I would say it works pretty well, which is very comfortable to everybody. Nobody going to be knocking your door and announce it, say, okay, the nurse is here in your door. No, we do make sure we call before to tell. And we do daily housekeeping every day. We have a very high standards. Now, all the staff went through a COVID certificate procedure to make sure the cleaning today is quite robust now, especially because of the COVID. When the patients, they go to surgery, we do a fully disinfection of the room. We want to make sure when the patient comes back from surgery, so we have a special machine of disinfection. We seal the room to make sure the room is completely free of any virus, bacteria. So it's pretty working very well. So when the patient come back, they're going to find all the linen changed, because sometimes we have patients that stay 3-4 days with us before surgery. We have this week someone is staying with us a week before surgery because of flights and stuff like this. So we do make sure as soon the patient goes to surgery, we make a full revamp of the room. We change everything. Everything's brand new to make sure we do meet all the safety requirements, because we had a tough control from the Ministry of Tourism. So to reopen the hotel, we have been through a very controlled process, and we are really working in a very extremely safe environment. So for the Facialteam patients, it's very important to make this announcement.
Yes, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But it sounds like you don't just go the extra mile for our patients. You go the extra 100 miles, Marcos. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Here's a couple of pictures here of what the rooms kind of look like. They're very sort of Asian aesthetic design, no?
Yeah.
Cozy, just like home. This is a standard single room, which is typically the style for our Facialteam patients, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And there are also apartments, I understand, and larger rooms for people who come maybe with their family or need space for whatever reason. That is an option for patients. So this is one of the upgrade rooms. And you mentioned to me, Marcos, about the tea time that you're going to start doing.
Yeah. We are working now. I mean, we saw the success of the let's say the group sessions with the marina, and then we thought ourselves, I think we should maybe create a time as well where naturally the patients, they could gather together. So we are working now to see how we're going to create this space because of the pandemic, to make sure, because of the pandemic, certain areas of the hotel, there is a maximum capacity. So you want to make sure we follow strictly the rules. But the next step for us, which is a novelty for us as well, we're going to do maybe once or twice a week, like a tea time, where we're going to announce all the patients where they can join together. And we're going to leave them mingle together in their intimacy, but we're going to set like kind of a tea time, little cookies or something which are adapted as well for their after surgery condition. And I think it's going to be something very nice where we can create a social gathering between the patients, because many patients, obviously, when they are on the streets of the old town, one see each other, so they naturally they get together, and some a little bit more timid. So when they see other ones, someone more active, so they create a nice, let's say, atmosphere. And our idea now is to create these section once, maybe different days from the group sessions, where Facialteam patients in their little space, they can congregate and share their beautiful experiences.
Absolutely. I think it's important. The social aspect is something that they will really appreciate. And oftentimes patients, even though, it's not always possible to get together, but many of the patients on Facebook, in our Facebook group, they communicate with one another, like, what day are you going to be there? And when I'm going to be there. And they get together and they end up making long-lasting friendships. So many have said that. So So I think these socialty times would be fantastic for our patients that are staying in the official recommended accommodations for Facialteam. I just want to let you know, Marcos, that here Carla from Switzerland said she made it home back. She made it home.
Oh, Carla, she was our first guest after the reopening.
Yes, she was our first patient.
It was a landmark. I mean, not only for Facialteam, but for us as well. It was an emotional moment because we have been closed for 90 days. And then Carla came and was really special. We will remember Carla a lot because it was really like a reopening for you, for Facialteam, for us. So Carla, mwah, say hello to you.
And another one of our viewers, Melissa, said that it sounds wonderful. She's made the comment, listening to you now talking. And just so you know, we've had some people here say they're from the UK. Melissa, who commented that she's from the UK. Yeah. So you mentioned the landmark moment, where we came back, everybody was quite emotional about reopening and getting back to work, and after so long being in the confinement and everything. So you've reopened. So what kinds of things are you doing now? There have been big changes in the hotel industry. Can you tell us a little bit about your Be Safe protocol?
Absolutely. Well, before the opening, I mean, we schedule a reopening with the Facialteam because we are ready to open when the first patient of the Facialteam was coming back. So first of all the staff went to, as I mentioned before, to a course. So they made a certificate of COVID-free protocols. So we created together with the Facialteam a very extensive protocol since the arrival from the airport. So when you arrive in the airport, even I want to pay tribute as well to the drivers, because we have to talk about the drivers of Facialteam as well, which are great people because they are really focusing on the service as well. So since the arrival in the airport, before the arrival, what you're doing now, we're sending a pre-registration form. So like this, you can expedite the arrival in the hotel to avoid, let's say, to be as fast as possible. To get the hotel and go straight as fast as possible to the room. So what we did before, we have to invest, obviously, a lot on security protocols. So all houses are equipped. We have something that all the patients are very amazed. We have disinfected carpets in all houses. So when you get into the house, you can disinfect your shoes, which is something kind of a novelty as well. We have hydrogels in all houses, the alcoholic gels in all houses. We do a complimentary kit in the room with the facial, with the masks and gel as well. All the delivery we made in the rooms, we do everything contactless. The housekeepers, when they make up the rooms, they have all the gloves and masks and facial covers. Is my staff were tested as well for COVID. So we really made sure that we deliver extremely safe environment for the guests. So there is a lot of things that we have created to make sure we have a lot of procedures that were implemented as well by the Minister of Tourism that we have to follow. So the hotel was inspected before reopening. We had a company who came to inspect us to make sure we were complying with all the procedures. And I could easily say that we have, the patients will be staying in a very, very safe environment. So I can guarantee all the patients, they can come here. In Marbella, it's truly quiet now in terms of problems with the COVID. We have no cases, it's very easy going. And we're going to be in such great hands of Facialteam as well, which are doing so. All the protocols are very robust as well to make sure the clinical stay as well is extremely safe. So I think we have combined, we work together. I think Gabrielle is listening to us, and we did a very, very complete protocol of COVID, which had to be validated by Facialteam because obviously I have to follow all the expertise of Facialteam, which we have implemented. So true, we have a specific protocol for Facialteam guests. So the keys are disinfected, the room kids are disinfected when they arrive. We take the temperature when they arrive. We have we sanitize their bags when they arrive in the reception, because obviously the bags were touched by someone in the airport. So we disinfect the bags as well to make sure the bags, when they go to the room, the bags are disinfected as well. So it's a lot of things that we put in place to make sure we limitate any kind of risk that could arise.
And I think that this is the perfect complement, the Be Safe protocol at La Villa Marbella,
Exactly.
to the COVID Safe protocol, which
Absolutely.
Facialteam has, and we work together on these protocols to make sure we're doing everything possible and even more than what's required to ensure the safety of our patients.
Absolutely.
So,
It's
yeah,
very
thank you for
important.
that information.
We were already like this before, and now more than ever. For us now, it's something that is a highlight of the service we are delivering now, because we are very focusing to make sure we comply and we give the best environment for the guests to stay in the most safest way.
Absolutely. Safety is important. And these protocols are provided to the patient before they arrive, even in Marbella, by email. So nice little PDF attachment to your email, which will be sent by your coordinator. So we were going to address some frequently asked questions here, Marcos, but I think you have answered all of them already, except for one.
Okay, which one?
Talking about the companions, the family members who come. Where do they stay? How does it work for them? How do you interact with the companions that come with our patients?
I'm a father myself, so I have a son and I have a wife. So we have stay in the hotel wives, we have mothers, we have fathers. It's very interesting because, as I mentioned to you, I think before, we have a lot of fathers with the daughters, which is, I think it's amazing to have the fathers as well joining the daughters. And our idea is, for us, especially for myself, it's very easy to interact with the parents because I'm a father myself. So as I said to you, I put myself on their shoe as well, on their I would say not the fear, but the to be worried about the surgery, the day before the surgery. So I talk to them, because one thing I can tell them all the time, they say, your daughter cannot be in better hands than Facialteam. So they ask me a lot of questions. So how is the recovery? And obviously during their stay in Marbella, they spend, let's say 85% of the time they spend with us. I mean, they go to the clinic for a short period of time, because you have an amazing technique that makes people only stay 2 days over there, which for me is amazing. And they spend the most of the time with us. So we actually become kind of a family between all of us together. And I talk a lot about, there's some mothers now, which they are lovely people. They're staying right now with us. And I talk as well as a father. They talk like a mother. So we share the experiences as well. And it's pretty easy to, as I said, to understand their anxiety, to understand maybe their fear. And we do explain that their daughters cannot be in better hands, that the daughters are fulfilling that dream. Believe me, we have, it's for us, we enrich ourselves as well. I think we discovered the trans community for us was something that maybe we would see a more superficial way. Now we see in deep, and we have now great respect for the trans community. It's actually a beautiful community, is a people that has a lot of sensitivity, and the mothers as well. I mean, the love of the mothers for their daughters even shines to me as even almost higher than a mother on, let's say, on the person which is not a trans. For me, I have seen examples of mothers that I say, wow, I really pay tribute to what you do for your daughter, the love you give to your daughter. And really, I could already write a book about beautiful experiences where the families is staying with us. And it's true, we share their worries, we talk to them, we help them. Many times I go have coffee with the parents while the patient is in the clinic. And I think we manage somehow to reassure them, first of all, they're in good hands. They can count on us. Every single patient has my mobile phone. I tell them, you can get in touch with me 24 hours a day. My first question is, do you have WhatsApp? And they say, yes. Okay, this is my mobile phone. If you need anything, you talk to me. Okay, I have a 19-year-old son, and I share the concerns. We all have different concerns for our kids, and we want to be different for them. So for us, it's very special.
I just have to say, Marcos, listening to what you've just said, Facialteam and our patients are so very lucky to have somebody like you with their heart in the right place, and giving your personal direct line to the parents, and these kinds of things are priceless for our patients and for the family members who accompany them on this journey, facial gender affirming journey. So we've been going now for quite a while, so should probably round up a little bit. I wanted to let you know, somebody here in who's watching, Pascal Lifestyle. I don't know if that rings a bell to you, if you know who Pascal is.
Absolutely.
Number one in Marbella. Number one in Marbella, no doubt.
That's very kind, very, very kind. It's lovely. I mean, we are number one because of the patients, because of our guests as well. We wouldn't exist without them. And now I can't picture the hotel, honestly, without the patients of Facialteam. Now it became part of us as well. So I cannot picture even my staff. They said we miss them when we reopen now, and say, oh man, we miss the patients from Facialteam. We miss them because they are all lovely people, and I think sometimes we are overprotected with them. Sometimes you say you should have an umbrella, so we give them umbrellas because they go after surgery to walk in the hotel. It's sunny. Say, look, I'll give you an umbrella. Get a hat for you. You should protect yourself. So we kind of do a little bit of sometimes over care because we really care about them. So we want them to be in all levels well protected with us. It's very important.
Well, again, I don't think we could ask for a better person than you to lead the accommodations, which are the official recommendation by Facialteam for our patients. And so we've talked about everything really about La Villa Marbella and the recuperation. Marcos here, who is the owner of La Villa Marbella, I think is one of the best. I think you've sold Facialteam for us as well. And what I'd like to know from you now, Marcos, is if you have a brief little takeaway message, something that you want people to remember from our talk today.
Well, I think the most important thing now, because of the situation we're living now, is first of all that we are here to make sure we have extremely safe stay. The comfort is very important, but now the comfort come along the safety, and we are really combining both together and make sure the stay is not only comfortable but is safe as well. And this is for us because the notion of service for us is kind of natural, but we had now to combine with the safety. So we are really, as I said, making sure the balance is there. We don't want people feel like scary of coming or because of the virus. No, I think I can guarantee that we have a very safe environment. You can come without any fear, not only for the country, because Spain really have make a great improvement on this level. Marbella, it's extremely safe now, and our protocol is there to make sure they are in a very safe environment. So I think what I want to say to the patients is that I would like to thank all of you, those that stay with us before, those who are going to be coming, you are teaching us a lot of things. Sometimes we deliver messages to people without talking, but only the courage of their step, the courage of their to fulfill their dreams. Because I did to go to do La Villa Marbella was my dream, and when I see what they do to fulfill their dreams, to fulfill what they expect in life, to have the courage to make a change, as I said, I remove my hat to all patients, because it's really something that I admire a lot on the patients, and I think they are truly special people, and I mean it. They are really truly special people, and you are learning a lot. It made us change a lot too.
Thank you for that. I agree with you completely. And it reminds me what you were saying about the dream of one of my friends and a former patient, Facialteam in Australia. Des, if you're watching, this is for you. She's actually the one that made this pendant for me. And she always says, live in the dream, darling, live in the dream.
It has to be like that.
She says that.
Yeah. And you feel honored that we can participate a little bit on that process as well, because it is a special process when you come here to do a surgery. It is a step in life, and we feel honored that we can give you a little participation, that there will be a little remembrance from them of staying with us, that they say, okay, Villa Marbella is part of, even if it's a little part on that process, we feel very honored to be part of that.
And just before we go on, last quick little question, Marcos, and what you just said is true, but do you also receive cisgender patients at La Villa Marbella that are facial?
Absolutely, yes, we did, and it's kind of, it's the same service, it's the same approach. There's no different approach. So the cisgenders as well, they are very welcome. Obviously, honestly, they may be a small percentage comparing to the trans, but it's true that we did have as well, and it's part as well of the Facialteam service as well, and everybody is welcome. I mean, our hearts are open for everybody. It's like a mom's heart. There's a place to everybody.
Well, on that note, Marcos, I'd like to say thank you so much.
It was an honor.
Owner and founder of Hotel La Villa Marbella, the official accommodations for Facialteam. Please check in the link below to find out more about La Villa. And also, I recommend, there's a blog that we just wrote last week. Check out that post as well, because it's about recuperating after surgery. And that, in addition to our section on La Villa Marbella, has a lot of information about the stay after having surgery.
Absolutely.
So Marcos, thank you so much for your time.
Love it. It was an honor. I mean, invite me anytime you want. Well, it'll be delighted to be here.
It's a date then. We'll have to make another date.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It's been
all patients of Facialteam, love to all of you.
Thank you. So, for those of you who are here now, thank you for coming. And for those of you who are watching the replay, I hope that this information was useful for you in your facial gender surgery journey. So let's give a hand to our expert in hospitality, Marcos here. Please, everybody, put your claps down in the comments.
Very much.
If you're just watching afterwards.
My thanks goes to you, and I clap my hands to you and to all the patients too.
Thank you. So those who are watching this video, your input and lobbying are important. Keep talking to us and let us know what you want to hear. We're open to the topics that you need to know more about. More importantly, if you're an ally or a healthcare professional working with the LGBTQ+ community, show your support now, please. And message your legislators, your MPs, tweet the powers that be, and do what you can to help the charities like GLAAD in the US and Stonewall in the UK continue their work to protect the basic human rights like peeing, for example. Something so simple, and healthcare access are respected. Stay tuned and keep in touch with us for our upcoming lives. Next week, I'll be meeting with Atlanta's all-trans rock band called Gender Exquisite. Yeah, sounds interesting. You have to watch, Marcos.
Absolutely.
Next Wednesday, same time, same place. And also in August, we'll have topics such as hair removal and makeup coming for some very special guests. So keep updated and join in the comments below. Join our patient peer group. It's a private group on Facebook, or sign up for our newsletter, which is also in the links below. Stay safe, everybody. Stay healthy, because your happiness and healthcare matter. Thank you, and see you next week.